Yo, welcome to the monthly. The reason why we started off slowly is because it's Australia v Egypt, and Salah's just taken the living mick.
I've seen people say a few bits and pieces. I don't know what is going on, but hey ho.
World Cup's more important than Tottenham. Way more important than Tottenham. Come on now.
That's a great start to the stream. For everyone that's watching, we've got our attention elsewhere on other stuff.
Hey lads, welcome. So spotlight on Spurs, designated Hotspur. Luke, you well?
I am doing really well, mate. I'll be honest. I mean, there were certain times last year where we were contemplating what the championship may look like. And with a few more signings, are we talking about winning the championship of the Premier League? But other than that, no, all doing well. Just really, really busy at this moment in time. How about you? We never ask you. We always ask everyone else, but not you. How are you doing?
Loving the World Cup. I forgot about Spurs. Spurs want to do the most amount of business when I'm not paying attention. But have I? Manny, you well?
I'm good, man. I'm good. As Luke was saying, I remember when I was contemplating whether to renew my season ticket. Now I realize I did the right thing, renewed my season ticket. Listen, if Vinay and Vivian are listening, listen, if you want to double up my season ticket, to help in getting, more £70 million signings, with my £1,200 ticket, I'll be very happy to pay. So listen, I'm good, man. I'm good.
Ooh. Lubo, can you hear us at least? Don't worry about your camera. We can talk to you like this. It's fine. Everyone knows what you look like.
Websites.
Can you hear us?
Technical difficulties.
Lubo. Egypt are free, by the way.
Lubo is itching to be on this, and he is being hampered by the forces of technology.
Hey, we can't have everything, right? We can't have everything. Spurs are doing well. Someone's got to take the flak elsewhere, and it's Lubo's camera at the moment.
It's Lubo tonight. Okay, look, I'm gonna start off, with this, and the reason why I'm gonna start with this because the other bits are too exciting, and I think we need some debate to start off with. Kick skip.
Listen. Let me go first. Let me go first on this.
Take the floor
first. I know. I think it was Luke, but it is what it is. I'll let him speak after. I don't mind this. I don't mind it. I'm telling you now. Listen. If we look at our start in terms of the signings that we brought in, everyone that we've brought in, and what we still need to do, I do not mind us saying to Kinski, you've earned your stripes. Show us what you can do. If you can nail this spot, then it's yours. If you can't nail this spot, then next summer you're gone. And I think bringing in Dubravka as number 2 is actually shrewd. I don't know what anyone would have against this. I think from my perspective, the last 7 games, he was literally he was a catalyst in us staying up, especially after what he was that Leeds game, and everyone remembers that last save that he made, but everyone forgets the one that he made on the line.
Rodon header.
The Rodon header, yeah. The Rodon header was phenomenal.
And bearing in mind that goal goes in, I am telling you, we are not coming back. And that point was crucial for us being up. I'm telling you guys, I do not mind it. I think he deserves it. And I think if we're not going by meritocracy, then what's the point? The point?
Manny, I'm going to ask you these questions, because you've mentioned something about the saves, and the Leeds one I give him. Okay, the Leeds one, and there was one more. I can't remember. My man's about last.
Sunderland, he made a good save against Broby.
Okay,
when he came out quick.
I'm going to ask you here is: would the other 15 to 20 goalkeepers in the Premier League would they have made those saves too?
Oh,
if he'd let them in, you would have been fuming that he'd actually let them in.
No, not those ones. Not the ones I
think he
mentioned.
would have. The reason why I mentioned them, is because I've got to compare him to the other 20 goalkeepers that played in the Premier League last year. And I'm not saying for me, I think a lot of what you're saying is correct, but I also think it was also down to the tactics. They helped him be able to produce what he was able to produce as well at the same time. Because don't
get me wrong. I'm not professing. At the moment, I'm not professing that he is the guy, by the way. I'm not professing.
No. But what I'm going to say is we will never know. Okay. And this is why I will give Kinski credit, and I do agree with what you're saying, but we will never know if Vicario would have been in the same situation because the manager had changed. We will never know this.
But I'll tell you what we would know. The anxiety that we had whenever he had the ball,
the reason
we would have.
But what would we? Because what happened in that last 7 games, it was a lot less with apart from the shots which we're used to Vicario making.
Yeah.
And I get on the ball, Kinski is 10 times better. I'm never going to argue that 10 times better than thing. But we'll never know because would ZERBI have gone, okay, I don't need you to kick. I need you to do this, and this instead of what he was doing before. Would he have cut those weaknesses away?
I don't think so, man. I think when you watch ZERBI, Brighton's ZERBI, Marseille's ZERBI, and even with us, our ZERBI at the time that he came in, what was very, very clear is that he kept I don't know whether you could see, he kept telling both defenders and keeper, calm down, wait for the press. Wait for the press and then pass the ball. Draw the press in and then pass the ball.
This is where Kinski's good. Yeah, this is where Kinski's
which is what Kinski's good at. Vicario, from that perspective and that style of play, he would have not been able to deal with it, right? But let me put this to you. This is my perspective at the moment, right? As I said, I don't profess him to be the best goalkeeper, the best choice, etc. Yes, we could have gone out and got something better. What's the name of the goalkeeper that Arsenal replaced with Raya?
Ramsdale.
Oh, Ramsdale.
Is Ramsdale a good enough goalkeeper?
For who?
In your for them.
Okay, so can I give my opinion on that?
Yeah.
When Arsenal originally signed Ramsdale, I didn't think he was any good.
Yeah.
However, remember the season where he got kicked by the fan? That season, he probably had the best season of his life.
Yep.
But I'm going to sit there and tell you this now. Arteta never wanted him. He was the second choice. He wanted Raya from the beginning. Yeah. And so he waited it out. Okay.
But you would agree with me though that Ramsdale, his attention to detail, being able to actually stay in focus all game, he was not that person.
No,
in terms of kicking, like he was okay, but he wasn't as bad. He wasn't as good as Raya, right? But the point I'm making is Arsenal finished second with Ramsdale. Let's not forget that. So the point I'm making is we can get to what we want to get to, even with Kinski, and if he isn't good enough, just like anyone, if anyone thinks he's not good enough, then you replace him. Hey, Lubo. Sorry, then you replace him. But my point is that of all the problems we have,
he's not the major problem.
Kinski is not a major problem. That's
the problem is we don't know that yet. That's the key part. It's a very, very big question. We don't know because I'm going to sit there and say, and I know probably, and I should let Luke, you go because I know I'm going to.
No, I can understand. I can understand what Manny means, and I love the fact that we're like this, where we go like he deserves it. He deserves absolutely nothing. Because if in 3 games he makes 3 mistakes, best believe every single fan's going to say he needs to go. So he only deserves what he deserves for that short period. Like we quickly forget Vicario had the most clean sheets in the Champions League only a mere 6 months ago, and now we're talking about how a goalkeeper needs to go. Like you only deserve the chance until you no longer deserve the chance, and that doesn't
Luke, I'm
take very long to
disappointed in
happen.
you. I'm
No, it's
utterly
true.
disappointed.
I like Kinski. I like the story. I think it's brilliant, and I think he's earned the right to fight for the number 1 position. I don't think he's earned the right to be number 1.
Vicario against Monaco, you know, in the Champions
No,
League.
I get
Everyone
that.
forgets all that.
I fully agree. I fully agree with you guys, by the way, that Vicario as a shot stopper, he is great. But we want to evolve, guys. We want
I know. To be fair, Manny. To be fair, man, I don't even know why I'm putting Vicario in the conversation. I don't like him either. I said at the beginning when we signed Kingsley, me and Ash had a go-to. I remember, and he said, "Nah, Vicario is better. Kingsley's nowhere near." And I was like, "Nah, Kingsley's better. His feet, this is that."
But
and
nobody, Marlon, no one thought Kinski was anywhere near. Like, we forget Vicario was playing for months with an injury that was impacting him, and nobody at Spurs felt he was good enough. Couldn't Kinski to step up. So I think, listen, there's no point even debating whether or not Kinski is better with his feet, no doubt about it. But the ZERBI's football, you create better options on the ball, which therefore makes the goalkeeper look like he's more comfortable on the ball because he's got more options. But I think the one thing that I always look to, and we do this a lot with all players and everything else, if you was any other manager at any other Premier League club right now and you was offered the chance to sign Kinski, how many clubs does Kinski start for? And for me, there's probably a handful. Outside of that, there is probably 10, maybe 12 keepers. And it might be stylistically, but experience, that sort of stuff, where they would go, no, we're not going to throw Kinski straight in. Like if I was Fulham, Leno probably starts. They are going to go, yeah, we'll drop. But that's what I'm saying. Leno's probably a middle of the road goalkeeper in the Premier League.
He's lost his way the last couple of years, but I give you that.
Yeah. But I'm saying you got the experience side of things like that. So if you was to be a Bournemouth, if you was to be a Brighton, if you was to be a Fulham, and you had Kinski on your books, does he start for you? And I think there's probably only.
Yeah, I don't like Petrovic, so I might.
No. Yeah. No, I agree. There's
a handful.
I think he's in the mix. But if we just name goalkeepers, then I think you can rattle off 8 or 9 that are really comfortably better than.
But I don't think that's the angle you guys should be going into, though. But I think the angle you should be looking at is right. So if you had a choice of updating your centre back, left centre back, right centre back, left back, midfield, attack, and someone said to you, "Oh, right, you know what? We're going to forgo either one in attack, or one in midfield, or one in defense to fix the goalkeeper situation." Would you say, "Okay, yeah, you know what? Don't bring me a left winger. Let's fix the goalkeeper situation"? Or would you say, "You know what? Let's deal with the goalkeeper situation for the time being. Bring in Dubravka, who, by the way, deputized for Pope at Newcastle not too long ago, right? To fight with him for that number 1 position, and let's fix the other positions." And I know it shouldn't be either or, but I think that's what they're looking at and thinking, you know what? Yeah. That goalkeeper situation is not as dire as we need to, fix. And that's why that's how I think they're looking at it.
I personally think it goes back to the January transfer window, and I think it's very risky because we finished 17th twice, and I've always said whenever you're building a Premier League team, okay, and I'm not sitting there saying that I don't even mind Kingsley being number 1. Is it my first choice that he's going to be number 1? Not really, but if I'm building a Premier League team, okay, the things I would need to fix to make sure that I'm going to be good, and you can skirt around the others. You need 1 good striker, 1 good centre midfielder, 1 good defence, and 1 good goalkeeper. As long as you can have those 4, you tend to win the league. All right, where Arsenal, you'd probably sit there and go, you can take 1 out as long as you're 2 wingers, and because when it comes to strikers, if you ain't got a good enough striker, you've got Salah and Mane. You've got Saka and whoever, Trossard. You can kind of get away with that. But you always have, and I've always said this from when Jose Mourinho came with Chelsea, Cech, Terry, Drogba, I can't remember who they had in centre midfield. Lampard was in the midfield. That was their core. And if you go to Manchester City, it'll be exactly the same apart from the year that they didn't have a number 9. There's always a core element, but none of them have never had a poor goalkeeper to win the league.
Lubo, what do you think?
Yeah, Lubo, because you're.
Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good evening, all. I can't listen. I can't have Postecoglou fan opinions like this. Sorry, I'm not accepting it. I can't accept this.
All right, what are you mentioning the Europa League winner for?
I can't. Sorry, I can't accept this, guys.
He stood there with the banner talking about how many trophies Enoch didn't deliver.
Yeah.
And now we've got the manager that delivered a trophy, and now he's slaughtering him. I can't have it.
Congratulations, he's found his level now. He's off to Saudi. Well done, Ange. Yeah.
Go on, Luke. What do you think? Like, none of us are sitting there going, he should be our number one. We're not sitting. I think when me and Luke have our reservations, that's all. But where are you sitting on the situation?
Okay, we have brought in 2 centre-backs.
Yep.
And when Tonali signs in the next few days, 2 midfield players. Mm-hmm. They're looking for 2 more forwards, maybe 3. So you're going to have 6 to 7 players that are coming straight into the first team at an enormous cost. And let's just take Tonali and Fernandes. When I talk about enormous cost, you've got a 300 million pound package, including wages. People forget wages are involved here as well. But throw Van Hecking, that's 400. So that's 400. That's sorry.
When did you start talking about wages and packages? This is Levy talk. What's going on?
No, I'm just saying. Listen. Levy's gone, and the money's being splashed. That's all I can say. It's it's obvious. These are facts. These are facts. We just had the most unbelievable week in our history, haven't we? I mean, can you believe this?
I think the Europa League final win might top the week. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Lubo, answer the question about Kinski. Go on.
Okay, Kinski. We have got the point I'm making
we'll
is that
in a minute.
Okay, they have Kinski is probably 2 or 3 out of the 11. He's one of the least of the issues that Spurs have got to fix, and they haven't got a bottomless pit, believe it or not. They can't go and spend 600-700 million in one window. So for me, better off to get outfield players. And when you look at when ZERBI took over, and I know Kinski came in because Vicario had the hernia operation, but he came in, the team was a complete mess, wasn't it? We came away from that Forest 3-0 home defeat and everybody thought we're done. Tudor's gone, ZERBI's in, Kinski's thrown in. I thought he did brilliantly. And when you compare his performance in those 7 games to a lot of the other goalkeeping performances from the other Premier League clubs in the last 7 games, he deserves his opportunity.
Yeah, but you can't really say, I agree, but you can't really say that because none of those goalkeepers were in a relegation battle, apart from what's his name, the West Ham goalkeeper, and you can't, and that's quite unfair because if actually when I look at the last 7 games, Raya probably done better than Kinski in the last 7 games because that save he makes at West Ham and some of those saves towards the end where they were fighting for the title were way better. Like I think that's quite disingenuous. However, I do agree that Kinski's performance you are completely right on the sense of they were good enough. But why is it now that Spurs fans are not asking for Paulinho to come back?
I don't want Paulinho back. Why would Paulinho come back?
Because he's done as much as Kinski in those last 7 games.
Fair enough, but Kinski's 22.
That's my question.
Right, Kinski's 23, Paulinho's 30. And Paulinho has been replaced by 2 players who are on a different level to him. That's also
our point with Kinski then. So I can't.
Also,
there's better goalkeepers out. Sorry, there's better. I get the Fernandes and Tonali are way above, but we're talking about Paulinho's level compared to Kinski's levels. There's going to be way much more that you can get out of a goalkeeper in certain situations where you could go and get better. Like Kinski's not in the top 10.
How do you know?
Have to be honest. Huh?
How do you know?
Because we've seen him. He's not in the top 10. We see, like, we're going to suddenly forget the Newcastle game in the Carabao Cup. We're suddenly going to forget about Atletico Madrid. we're going to forget
Weren't
these
the Villa
games.
one as well? Weren't there a strike at Villa that he let in that was really bad?
Are we
Yeah.
going to forget the Fernandez goal against Chelsea that he let in? Come on, most goalkeepers.
But guys,
Premier
listen.
League
Come on,
say.
Marley. He was
Yeah,
unsighted for that. He was
No, he
unsighted
wasn't.
for that.
He wasn't. He was in the wrong position. His feet were all wrong.
Well, okay. If you're going to blame him for one goal and one mistake in 7 games, then okay.
I'm not. I'm just saying, when you look at the goalkeeping scenario, because I look at someone like Dean Henderson, who's at Palace, okay, good goalkeeper. I look at, when you start going through the Premier League goalkeepers, we can't sit there and say he's on that level yet because we've only had 7 games, and that's why I'm willing to give it to him, but I'm not confident that if we're looking to replace him next year, fair play. But
I just think it's a risk.
I think it's a risk as well.
No, I agree. I agree. It is a risk
because goalkeepers are more likely to cost you games than a striker or a midfielder or a defender.
Understood, but I think we need to take a few things into context, right? Because like the 7 games, we can't really just say, oh, it was a relegation battle. It's just 7 games. Those were the most pressurized games we have had as a club. Like let's be real about it.
But he's not the only player involved.
Incredible pressure, whereby any error, any mistake, just like you said, any mistake could have cost us our Premier League status. So he came out of those 7 games with flying colors. That's the first thing. Second thing is that in the past, so prior to that, he came in. They kept chopping and changing him coming in. So he'll play today. He will not play for the next month, and then you come in the following month.
Yeah, but that's because is that not because he wasn't good enough?
And then he'll be playing with a makeshift defense. When he came in with a defense which was a bit more stable, and bearing in mind, guys, I love Romero, but without Romero, who was gung ho, gun blazing at all times, right? And when people were actually stable, he was able to actually affect the game in a way that helped us stay up. So I get the point that yes, he's not Raya, yes, he's not an Allison, but just like Lubo said, in my I agree with Lubo on many things, including the fact that Ange is an amazing manager. But the point being is that he has literally got himself in a situation where it's really hard for the ZERBI to say, I'm not going to give you a chance. And then other than that, you need to understand that, as Lubo said, we spent a lot of money on outfield players, and maybe they're there thinking, you know what, we would rather fix that attack than and Vicario not staying is not as a result of the ZERBI or as a result of the hierarchy. He wants to go.
I'm not sitting there.
So we can't do anything about Vicario wanting to go. And in my opinion, I just think like Kinski Dubravka is not the worst pairing in the Premier League. Genuinely, I don't think so. I know you guys are gonna.
Do you think it's better than last year? Do you think Vicario and Kinski is a better partnership than Dubravka and Kinski?
For the way the ZERBI wants to play, yes. For the way this, because I know the ZERBI. Listen, I know the ZERBI came out and said Vicario is an amazing keeper. I dare the ZERBI to start Vicario first 10 games and see how the Vicario plays with the ball, and then for him to come back and tell me that
he might not need to touch the ball for our defense is that good.
maybe.
Same could be said for Kinski, I guess.
To be fair, yeah. Not when the shots are flying from 40 yards and they might go in.
I understand, guys. I understand the reservation. I'm not dismissing it.
Look, I told you I wanted to start off on the debatable one, like, because the rest of the show is going to be like us being giddy. So
it's true.
Yeah, I'm not debating. I'm not debating what you guys are saying in terms of the risk. I genuinely am not. But
I completely get what you and Luberg. I'll be honest. I completely get what you and Luberg are on. But for me, I'm not going to be sitting there in 7 months' time going, "I told you so." With me, I'm always going to have my reservations. Like, that's the way I am. But when it comes to goalkeepers and strikers, and maybe it's because I played in those positions growing up, and that's the reason why. And I'm still playing goal now. And for me, for what I see in Kinski, I see great feet and everything. But what really worries me is when he's short-sighted. He kept 2 clean sheets against Everton, who were poor, and Wolves, who were poor. But actually, when you go and look at the other games that you lot said he made these great saves in, let's look at the goals that he's conceded. And you kind of go, if he was that great, and I'm not just blaming him because the defense is poor too. Don't get me wrong. It's just that there's certain things he does in the game where I'm just not comfortable with. But coming back from corners, when he comes back from corners, when he catches the ball, I think he's brilliant. And with his feet, he's brilliant. It's always just going to be those other elements that when we're going to see him over a 38-game season, the same people that were saying Vicario when he first came was, he's great, he's not as bad as all you lot say. I think Spurs fans will suddenly go, maybe we were a bit wrong about Kingsley. Or maybe we're right. It doesn't look at this present moment, it doesn't matter because we're signing so many players in so many better positions. I completely agree with what you lot are saying is this might be a problem for a year's time. But if it comes down to the end of the season and it's a question between 4th and 5th, okay, I'm just throwing that out there, and it costs us, this is what sometimes these decisions end up doing. That's all it is.
Marlon, can I just say something here?
Yeah. Go on.
When you look at the 2 saves against Leeds that won us a point.
A good point.
Yeah.
You missed it. The first one against Rodon, and I remember because I was on last word on Spurs. I said is the better save out of the 2. The second one, I'll be honest, I expect most goalkeepers in because it's a reaction save because he literally. It's a reaction save. I probably expect half the goalkeepers to actually make that save in the Premier League because that's how good I think they are.
Okay.
The thing is, I think we were all surprised that Kingsley saved that after the whole. I think we kind of put Kingsley on a lower pedestal than everyone else because of that Atletico Madrid game. And by the way, for him to come back from that and mentally be that strong for us in the last 7 games, again, I give him credit for. I absolutely give him credit for. But now I'm looking at it going, I've finished 17th twice. What do I feel about Kingsley? I'm just kind of like on the fence with him. I'm hoping that he proves me and Luke, by the way, completely wrong, and he possibly can. But for me, he's a Lange signing, and this is why I'm going. And I don't like Lange's players, most of them. I don't think any of them have come in and been any good. Like everyone wants Lange.
Other than the Enzo Fernandez goal, right?
It was I agree. So I agree with you.
There
was a couple times against Sunderland was dodgy. Don't get
Which
me wrong,
one?
But I said a couple times against Sunderland he was a bit dodgy, and I think the deflection I know it was deflection, but he reacted really slow. And
which one? Sunderland? Do you mean Sunderland?
Yeah, the deflection.
It was the other side of the goal.
Yeah, but
sorry.
That's the thing. I'm looking back at all the goals we conceded, right? And the Enzo Fernandez goal is the only one that can actually say, you know what, he should have done better.
Forget Matomas, because Matomas won no goalkeeper saving that.
Yeah.
But what we have to remember, and I think this is what people fail to realise, a goalkeeper, it's not always about shot stopping. He's also the eyes for that defence and organising that defence. And when you go and look at what Danzo did, okay, if he had a stronger goalkeeper, he doesn't take that touch.
That's a bit of a reach. That's a bit of a reach.
No,
I agree with you
because he would have been in his ear.
He had been so bad the whole season.
Yeah, I know.
That is very hard to even defend these defenders.
I'm just saying. When it comes down to next season, let's just hope that this is still not happening.
Yeah, I think the question is quite simple. It's just a case of, is the last 7 games form, or is that the standard of Kinski? That's the bottom line. If he performs them 7 games, if he plays those 7 games over the course of a full season, then you've got yourself a decent keeper there. Yeah. However, if that was just his form,
this is the question.
Then actually he's going to be worse than that, and Spurs could end up being in a pickle because we've not done what we needed to do there. So.
Yes, and that's a genuine question. Yeah, I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. It's just...
I actually like Kinski. I would love it for Kinski to be good enough to be Spurs #1. The character he showed and everything else, I think, is top draw, and that's exactly what you want from a keeper. Yeah. I'm just wondering whether that's form and whether that's how good he is. The big part for me is that we're not just talking about a year or anything like that. These are a lot of managers felt that Kinski was nowhere near Vicario. Like when you had all these chats that we were on and people were going, look, people in Spurs don't think he's anywhere near Vicario. That's worrying. that if anyone is sitting there going, he's not even at that level. That for me, I'm like, oh, hang on.
Because I thought he would get the #1 spot under Frank. I thought he would get it because Frank used to like goalkeepers that play, because he obviously had Raya. And I thought he'd be putting Kinski in straight. I'd said it to him, and everyone's like, nah, he ain't going to do that. And they were right. I was wrong. I thought Vicario was done. But here we are, a year down the line. And
well, I think the most important person at Spurs right now thinks he's comfortable having him as #1.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
I think that's the main thing. Because
it's not to say you don't get things wrong though.
No, 100%. But I'm because when I look at Kinski, right, I look at certain things, and obviously you guys go to the stadium a lot, just like I do, and I know how I felt when Vicario used to be in goal. It's PTSD, genuinely, right? With Kinski. And I can understand what you guys are saying, but I'm looking at it thinking, okay, cool. So on corners, he is really, really strong coming out. On with his feet, he is very, very good, allowing himself to allow pressure and still be able to pass the ball around. And then I'm looking at it and I'm thinking his kicking is also way, way, way better. So I'm looking at those little things and I'm thinking maybe the ZERBI is looking at that thinking I can work with that. Yeah. Rather than, oh, you know what, this is, the passing is fundamental to my gameplay. That if you can't pass, I can't teach you how to pass. And I feel like that's the issue. That those are the differences. I do agree with you guys. If we are going to be a top club, unless Kinski, increases 5-10 folds, at some point we're gonna have to replace him. I get that part. But I just feel like for the time being and for what we're trying to fix, I don't think that I think that Kinski is not the biggest issue.
Yeah, I understand that.
I understand it. Yeah, it's just.
Yeah, 100%. I'm not dying on a hill at all. I'm not saying that he's going to be dreadful.
Mate, our other signings have been spot on. So yeah, that's it, right? But it's just I was a bit surprised. That was it. I was a bit surprised, and
I think if you would have said at the start, the end of the season, that Spurs were going to spend this amount of money and bring in this many players, then I think a lot of people would have been surprised that a goalkeeper weren't purchased. I don't think many people would have thought that Spurs would go out and get Senesi and Van Heck with a Van der Ven already there, with Danso there, with Vuskovic. I know obviously we've sold him, but I just feel like if you said, right, we're going out and we're getting this amount, most people would have thought, the attack's going to be built first, not the defence, and we've done it that way. Most probably thought we wouldn't go and get 2 central midfielders. We might have got 1 over the line. So, but yeah, if he feels like we're going to be good enough defensively that actually we don't need a top keeper because we're not going to have him tested that much, then I'm all for it. I hope he doesn't have to make a save all season, to be honest. I think that'd be brilliant.
And Luke, if you're absolutely spot on, because if he's anything like the last 7 games, that's exactly what we saw.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even though we only kept 2 clean sheets, that was what we saw.
Goalkeeper model.
Well, when it comes to different goalkeepers, I'm probably a lot more harsher than other people. I've just always been that way. So, and for me, we've never replaced Lloris. So, even when he was crap.
Well, kicking wise, he might be able to.
Yeah, flooding. All right, should we get to the good bits?
I just want to say we've already spoken about the man that's departed, and I just want to say, like, I think that there was some sad news today. I think personally, yeah, I just think that obviously when he first came in, there was a lot of criticism by a lot of fans. I think towards the end, he sort of won a lot of them over. I think when you talk about passion, leader, winner, it's exactly what Spurs have lacked. Like these are things that we've lacked. He come in, he kind of pulled us through from some bad times. We've seen some good times with him as well. And I think he'll always be welcome at White Hart Lane. So a massive thank you from me, everyone on the panel, to Ange Postecoglou. You absolute legend, man. Thank you very much. And I'm so glad that you
He left just in time.
Lubo knew it was coming, didn't he?
I didn't see that one coming. Actually, that's a funny one. I literally was thinking, oh, I don't really feel that way about Paulinho, but let me just nod in approval. Just
He's back. He missed it.
He's disgusting. He's absolutely
He
disgusting.
had to come off camera because he knew he was talking about Ange.
oh man.
Let's do the more serious stuff.
So one we already knew about. Two we already knew about. But then three signings. Van Heck, how are people feeling?
Let me start because I was negative on this one as well.
Were you?
Yeah, not negative. I just felt that was a lot of money to be spent on a centre half that we'd already signed Senesi.
Yep.
We'd already got him through the door. I just felt that was a lot of money to be spent in a position that I don't think really needed to be strengthened. I thought like left wing is where we need, central midfield is where we need. And I didn't envisage us going like now it looks stupid, right? We've just signed Tonali and Fernandez.
Okay,
so it looks ridiculous.
True.
But I'm sitting there going like, what my thing was, if we get to the end of the transfer window, we still haven't got a left winger in. We still haven't got a ball playing midfielder in. We still haven't potentially got a striker in, but we've signed another centre back that's good. I'm like, oh, really? How is that? That's not gonna be the difference. And then you go and you're like, yeah, but what if we don't get a midfielder and then we go and sign two of them? Like, okay. And then you get linked with other players. You're like, oh, okay. So I understand it now. I get it. Like you've gone for the guy that your manager wants. I get that. I was just worried that we was going to do a typical Spurs and drop a massive fee on a centre back and then not do what we needed to do elsewhere.
So did you think with Dan Levy's path and how think we've had our pants pulled down, especially with a year left on his contract?
It's still a lot of money. And I think that I can understand why they wanted him. Obviously, the ZERBI wanted him. He's the guy that he wanted and all of that sort of stuff. I get that. I still think it's a lot of money, but I don't. The thing with me is I don't really care about the money. Really, I don't really think that I'm not bothered by that. The only reason I am bothered by is if it stops us getting others. Like if we go and get a left winger now, I'm not going to moan that we spent 52 on a centre half. That we could have gone and spent that on a striker or a winger. Do you know what I mean? Like if we do the business, we do the business. I'm not expecting us to do everything.
2 million so we're spent on Van Heck now.
52.
No, so with Vuskovic going, we've pretty much spent 2 million.
Well, this is the other thing, right? Like Romero's there. So what happens with a Romero? Do we sell him? And then do you know what I mean? So that comes into it.
Do we not? A quick question on that. Do we not and I will ask the other two. Do we not have a problem here at the moment because Romero is looking at the situation going, well, this is the squad I wanted to play under. From what we hear, Nubo might be able to tell us differently. There's no suitors for Romero at the moment. So Dragoshin is meant to be the other guy that's going. Are we then looking at Danso and possibly Van der Ven just to start back? Because obviously our squad at the moment is massive with overseas players. So we're going to have to start looking at kind of, and I'm glad the way they've done it, but at some point they're going to have to try and get players off their books.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've heard, sorry.
Go.
I was reading last week somewhere that Romero is now wanting to stay.
Well, this is why I mentioned it because he's seen the players coming in and he's going.
Yeah, exactly. He's probably looking at the players coming in and thinking, actually, guys, I would like to stay. But actually, and I'm a defender of Romero. I want him gone because I want a drastic change in such a way that when we go back in August, we feel like fresh air. I think he is a quality centre back, but he doesn't play enough to justify, some of his behavior. And unfortunately, in my opinion, like what he does with the playing out the back, passing through the lines, trying to dictate the pace of the game from the back, etc.
Yeah,
are things that Van Heck does, right? Van Hecke's passing is incredible. If you look at the forward passing and the progressive passing, Romero was nowhere to be seen in that list of top 20, right? He was literally right at the bottom. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, we don't need players who are going to moan and sulk if they're put on the bench. And I can see Romero sulking and moaning if he's on the bench. Whilst Danso, and this is not, a Danso prop, but Danso is happy to be on the bench and to come on when called upon. So I think that is also crucial to keep the yeah, Ghanaian friends. It's crucial to keep
It's almost
the
like you know
harmony.
him or something.
It feels like that, didn't it?
It's
He's happy to be on the
imperative.
bench.
It's
First time to hear it,
imperative
yeah.
we keep Danso at the club, right? Because in my opinion, you need to have players that are happy to be on the bench. And I don't think Romero is going to be happy to be on the bench. We've got depth now, guys, that if someone is not performing, the person goes to the bench. That's the level of depth at the back that we have. So, in my opinion, we can't have people disrupting the harmony of the players, and that's why I think Romero has to go. They might think, Luba will probably say otherwise in terms of maybe what he's heard, but in my opinion, now with the players we have, he has to go.
Let me bring in Lubo. Lubo, I'm gonna like mute you and unmute because for some reason when you're not talking, it's making a noise. So,
Okay.
but I'll bring you in now. So I'll bring you in on this Van Heck, Romero. Who do we get rid of now in the defensive side of things?
I think you get rid of Romero, pure and simple.
But has he got? Are you aware of any clubs being actually interested in him?
Wait till after the World Cup. I think you'll probably see one or two. Also depends on the fee that Spurs want. They were Atletico and Barcelona inquired last year. Spurs wanted 65 million and they walked away. So, let's see what happens. See, he's on in half an hour, I think, isn't he? Playing Cape Verde.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Romero was a bad influence at the club last season. Although we liked what he said about the owners at the time, which I thought was correct. It wasn't for him to say it. And a week later, 4 days later, after coming out with that outburst, he got himself sent off against United and missed the next 4 games. So you missed an hour of the match against Man U plus 4 matches. Then he came back. Then he came back and he unfortunately got himself injured. But Romero, when he's on it, is superb. But he had so many bozo moments last season, and I don't think he wanted to be at the club, to be honest. But the interesting thing is that he's, like the others, they're looking at all these players coming in, and Romero's thinking, do you know what? This is why I signed a new contract a year ago. Because of the quality of these players they're bringing in, and they're doing it a year later than they promised. Mm-hmm. So why would I want to go? But I don't see how he stays. I don't see when he gets game time. I see either Danso as the 4th centre back, and you've got any 2 from 3 with Van Heck, Senesi, and Van der Ven, or you could play Van der Ven left back, and you play Porro right back, and you play Senesi and Van Heck as your 2 centre backs. I don't see where Romero gets in. So for me, Romero should be going. By the way, stop crackling now. Is that better? Is there no sound interference?
It's a little bit of crackle.
Yeah, but not okay.
But I don't
good
know,
signings though, Marley. Good signings.
Yeah,
Robertson, Senesi, Van Heck, all good signings.
Yeah, and that's what we're praising. But for me, I unless you might be right, and this is what Spurs are hopeful for, is the Romero being sold. I know everyone's like, he's just going to go. But if Spurs don't get an offer for him, which, after how the season ended and the World Cup's he's not lit the World Cup up because he has been injured, is he going to get that offer that we all think he's going to get? And that's my only question to it all. Because
I think that if we get, and listen, it's all hypotheticals, right? But if we get a fully fit Romero that's dedicated, that's focused on, I think Romero will start for Spurs. Yeah. Now, whether that means that Van der Ven more predominantly plays as a left back, or we start playing 3 at the back and push Porro up, I don't know. Yeah. I think if you've got an on it Romero, I think he will start at Spurs.
And
I really do.
Yeah, and if he's on it, he's personally, I think he's a very deserving type of defender. Hence the reason why they've gone out and bought Van Heck. But it's going to be an interesting scenario here because, as we said, Romero has now seen these players come in and gone, okay, I want to be here. This is the sort of squad I want to be in. This is the one I think can actually achieve things, which is a positive when we all look at it, because we're kind of going, even the players at the club are now looking and going, this is the team we were expecting. This is the help we needed. So it's going to be really
I do agree with Manny, though. I do agree with Manny. There needs to be a seismic change in mentality at this club. Like, we need to, when you bring in the players like Gallagher and stuff like that, the way that Romero acts, he does not act in Argentina. He won't act like that. They won't allow it. Messi will put an absolute stop to that. And I think that we need to make sure, whether that's a De Zerbi setting the example, whether that's bringing in other top players, whether that's, you're not guaranteed, because Van Hecker is very, very good. He can play. There has to be a seismic change. And if he comes in with the attitude of, because we've all heard the rumors that he kind of walks around a training ground, he's kind of allowed to do what he likes. There can't be any of that. Like, he's not to a level where you go, he's so good, he can do whatever he likes. Like, if Kane done that, you're kind of like, well, we've just got to deal with it because he is that good. He's not like that. And there isn't anyone in this club at this moment in time that can be that influential outside of the football pitch. So if he gets under, if he starts getting involved, if he starts to become one of the members of the team and not acting the way he has done, then I think we've got a great player there. But if he isn't, then he needs to go. I've always said the problem I've got with Spurs is when we sell players, we don't bring in players that are good, that are as good. And I think that stylistically, Van Hecker obviously fits with exactly what De Zerbi wants. So I get that. That makes sense. Senesi coming in makes a lot of sense. He's going to be a very, very good backup centre-back. I think he'll challenge Van der Ven a lot more than some of our fans think personally. But I can't fault him for doing that.
I think he'll end up starting. I think someone said, I won't be surprised at some point that Van der Ven gets moved out like he does. And it's not a great left back because we've seen it for Holland, but he can play there. And maybe if we're on the front foot, as we saw under Ange, do you remember under Ange when Van der Ven had to play left back for the last 2 games? And he was literally, I know it was against Sheffield United.
What a manager, by the way. But yeah.
he wasn't half bad there, but we'll see.
By the way, I would just my 2 pence on it, right? I would get Romero gone. I fully agree with Luke in terms of if his application.
How much are you going to take though? Because that's the other issue.
I couldn't care less. Tear up his contract. Listen, look back. Hold on. Look back. Listen, look back at Arsenal when after Aubameyang won them the FA Cup and won Arteta the FA Cup, and he started having attitude issues. Ozil, when he started having attitude issues, Lacazette, they decided at that time. Hold on. They decided at that time, you know what? These are quality players, but we need to reset the entire club. I agree with Luke. What fundamentally, if he has his head to the game, he is probably our best centre back. When was the last time he had a consistent period where he had his head in the game?
When we won the Europa League.
Well, that one game.
No.
What a manager!
He was good he was good for that last part of that campaign. He was good.
What is the last part? 3 games? Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt, and it was
and the final.
Home and away. They were home and away games. He was good both home and away.
But
hold on. We're judging Kinski on 7, and you're going to sit here and go 5 games ain't good enough. Come on.
No. I'm telling you, genuinely, we will be here.
I get
mid next season. No. Hold on. I didn't even drop my point. We will be here mid next season if this guy stays. And bearing in mind, I've been the biggest Romero proper, right? Like, I like Romero. I like his mentality when it comes to, the way he carries himself. But we have to all agree that
you can't rip up his contract though.
Sorry? No, not rip up. Obviously, how many years has he got? 4 years?
4 years, and he's at a good age where he is sellable. Where with Aubameyang, Ozil, and Lacazette, they were over 30. They needed to replace. There's a slight difference, and I get they did that, but they weren't doing that with. They're not going to do that with like someone else who's 25, 26, are they? They're not. No club's going to do that.
Romero is not 26. Is he 26?
No, I don't know how old he is. I can't remember. He's
Romero's
27,
29.
28, I think.
27,
Yeah,
28.
Yeah, 27, 28.
Yeah, but, no, but that's
Genuinely,
what I'm saying. You're not going to do that with someone who's at their
I would
Aubameyang
now.
was over 30. I think Ozil was over 30, and so was Lacazette. And Lacazette's contract right now. It's not like they ripped that up. He's contract right now.
I think we need to make like there are certain people we can't have at the club, genuinely, because he's gonna do something. If it's not him putting a statement out, which we all agreed, by the way, we were all happy with, etc. Then it's him getting a red card, and it's him not being fit for the crunch time at Spurs, but then all of a sudden being fit for Argentina. Then it's gonna be, we've got one game, our last game to stay up, and all of a sudden there are rumors of him being in Argentina, going to watch another game. There is always off-field stuff that then detracts from the and with someone as important as him in the group, in my opinion. It takes. I just don't think it's worth it. I don't. After, obviously it's hindsight because I'm talking about it after we've spent 52 million on Bangeka, right? But I'm just saying it's not going to be worth it, because I'm going to be having this conversation with you guys if he stays, because I know he's one player who, when he wants to be around, he is around. When he doesn't, he's sulking, whatever it is, he just does a stupid thing.
But our question is not to say, I think me and Luke both agreed to sell him, but the question we've got on our hands at the moment is, what happens if no one comes in for him? What do you do?
No, he has to stay. If no one comes in for him, he's got 4 years. So yes, you can't rip it. I mean, if it was my money, I would have ripped up his contract.
No, you would have
paid him off. But if I was a billionaire, I definitely would have.
No, you wouldn't. If you were a billionaire, because that's how you made your billions. You're not stupid.
Maybe. But still, I thought he has to go. I think 30 million, 40 million, I probably would even sell him.
Well, this is the question I was asking originally, but you went off a tangent.
I think the asking price is 60 million, right? 60 million pounds is the asking price.
Lubo, what's the asking price? Lubo. What's the asking price for Romero? What's the apparently the going rate? His mic's gone.
The mic's completely gone now, Lubo. I can't hear a word.
Nah, it's gone.
What is going on? It's an absolute travesty.
I thought this as well. What Melton said. I think we may have already had a deal for someone for Romero coming already. I wouldn't be surprised. That's hence the reason why we're splashing the cash as we are.
What did you say? Sorry.
I reckon what Melton has said might be true. I think we've already agreed a deal to sell Romero to probably Atletico, or because he ain't going Real Madrid now, is he?
But that's not bad. That's not. It's not that, like, it's not bad now, is it? Like, don't forget at the start. And listen, I'm sorry, Manny. I'm just apologizing now. Just put fingers in ears. Don't listen to this part. But people were telling me at the end of the season that Danso's good enough to start for Spurs. Like,
he isn't.
He's not.
He isn't. He isn't.
So we needed to get a player in that was going to be better than Danso. And for me, I was like, Spurs weren't going to do that. Spurs weren't going to go and sign anyone. They've gone and got Van Hecker now. So if Spurs went and got 30, 40 million for Romero, no one can really say, oh, that's a terrible deal or anything like that. Even if you're a Romero fan, you can't say that's terrible. Like, whereas if we sold Romero for 30 million and Danso was your starting right centre back, then you could be like, hang on, like, this is not what we should be doing here. So I just think it's one of them. It's a dangerous game that Spurs are playing if you go and sign so many players and then just hold on to the players you've got without selling. We know what our track record is like at selling players, but this is a new Spurs.
This is going to be the next good part. This is going to be the interesting part. I can't wait to see because I know a lot of people going, why have Spurs gone so far this way? And then they've gone so far that way. When actually, this is what you kind of do if you're a big club. You think about the consequences of the other players that you need to get rid of later.
And that's what I'm saying. Say, for instance, they turn around and they get 20 million for Romero and they go, look, he weren't part of the squad. We bombed him out. He's worth more, but we're acting like a big club. Then you're like, I get it. I completely get it. And when you were saying about Van Hecker about overpaying, Spurs are adopting what Todd Bowley does at Chelsea. Instead of going in like Levy and negotiating and trying to win the war, every penny, this, that, and the other, Bowley's going in similar to what we seem to be doing, going, how much do you want? 50 million? Right, let's do the 50 million, 52 million. We'll do that. And then maybe further down the line, clubs like Brighton start going, Spurs are quite decent to deal with. We asked for a price, we got the price, and then actually you might be able to get players further down the line that's a little bit cheaper, that's a bit easier because you're now easier to deal with. Spurs have done it with Tonali. Newcastle wanted 100, they got 100. Brighton wanted just over 50, they got just over 50. So if Spurs are acting like that, then further down the line, you might see some more positive transfers coming our way and clubs getting on side with us because we're just saying, this is what you want, this is what you're going to get, done, finished, and it's over.
Luke, you know how you resolve the Romero problem, don't you?
Keeping him, making him captain.
No.
Paratici model, innit?
Ange buys him. Yeah. Absolutely. There you go.
Make him a double European champion where we're still sniffing around at trophies somewhere. I'm joking.
All right then, lads. All right, because like we haven't got to the best part yet.
Go on, which is
so we've gone and then signed Van Heck. We then gone and signed Martin, the backup, which he's a backup goalkeeper. I think we're all agreed on this one. He's a backup goalkeeper. He's only here. What is it? A year?
Yeah.
Is it a year contract? Yeah. It is what it is, isn't it? I think we can all agree. He had a decent time at Burnley last year. He wasn't terrible. If he comes in, he'll do a job for us.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, all right. The only thing I will say, I was surprised it weren't a homegrown goalkeeper. I thought they would have gone for a homegrown second choice keeper.
I think because we're not in Europe.
Yeah.
I think because we're not in Europe, I think it's just pointless not to even think about this year. Then this guy walks through the door. Where the hell? Relegated twice in 2 years. But if you actually go look at his numbers from last year, because that's what a lot of data people want to look at, and really good numbers considering West Ham were relegated, and a lot of their fans, like Kudos, they were like, he doesn't shout for big games, he doesn't do that. They've not really been about it. With Fernandes, it's been quite different.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of go when West Ham fans are like say something. Generally, they are half right.
What?
Like no matter how much.
I don't know. I remember having an argument whether Michael Dawson or Anton Ferdinand was better. So let's not. Mark Noble was one of the best centre midfielders in the Premier League, but
they can be delusional too at the same time. Depends where you're coming from.
This is. Yeah, I said exactly what you just said. I know loads of West Ham fans. I live in that area. And they're all going, look, we'll take 85 million because we can do a lot with that. But this kid's a player. Like he is a player. So, I mean, we were just sitting here kind of arguing about who's going to be the centre-back pairing. Is it Senesi? Is it Van Hecker? Is Van der Ven going to play? Is Romero going to start? I think we kind of know the central midfield pairing might be this summer if we get the other one over the line in the next couple of days.
Is it a given that he's going to play in the 6?
I don't think he's going to play a 6. I don't think it's going to work like that with ZERBI. I think it's going to be it's going to evolve the whole midfield. They're going to be moving around. It wouldn't surprise me if he also played Gallagher maybe as a third, or Bentancur as a third midfielder.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Bentancur.
Do you know what? I think we'll sell Bentancur.
No. Why?
No chance.
He just signed a new contract last season. I don't think.
I think we'll sell him.
No chance.
I don't know. Something's just. Look, I'm just. Something in my head says with the midfielders that we're signing, because remember we've got Conor Gallagher as well in there, with Paulinho not returning, and Bentancur again was great in the last 7 games. I love Bentancur. Something's just telling me we're not going to keep him. I don't know what it is either.
I think
Sarr goes. Sit there and put my finger on it.
I think Sarr goes. I think Gallagher will operate as a 10 for us in certain games. I think that's where the ZERBI sees him leading
for the next 6 months.
And then I think that Gray and Bergvall will stay around the squad because I think both of maybe Bergvall goes, but I think Gray because of the home.
Can can we talk about Gray and Bergwijn in a minute? Because
Yeah.
there's something
Yeah,
we want to get out of it.
But that's why I think Bentancur stays in as the experienced head for another season, and then maybe next year it's one of them. What Manny's saying about Kinski potentially is that we see in a year where we're at. Does Fernandez perform?
But where does Maddison fit in all this?
I think it'll be a Gallagher or Maddison in the 10.
So you think Maddison and Gallagher in the 10, Tonali and Fernandez, but with Bentancur being the backup for the 2.
Yeah.
Do you think Archie Gray will play any part in this?
Yeah. I think Gray will be involved. I think Gray will have more protection around him with Tonali, with Fernandez, who have got more structure. So I think he will be. I don't know whether Bentancur.
I'm just seeing where your head's going at. Sorry, I'm not disagreeing.
No.
Sorry,
I think Bentancur will be there as the experienced head, but I think Gray will be the one that most of the time will kind of come on if Spurs are doing well and it's kind of going well. I think he will actually come on and get some minutes, and I think Bentancur will almost be our Palhinha of this year, where he'll be the guy to come on in the pivotal times. Hopefully we're challenging in big games, that sort of stuff. That's what I think will happen, and Bentancur will be the person that kind of goes within a year. Either Archie Gray and potentially other youngsters step up, or we look at making our bench and rotation options better. Personally,
Manny, wait. So where are you sitting with the midfield?
Yeah, because that's the thing. So our fortunes, in my opinion, our fortunes turned when Bentancur came back, because what Bentancur
couldn't agree with you more. What
Bentancur?
I thought it was Kingsley being in goal though.
Bentancur, what he offers, the quality that he offers, the calmness on the ball when he's under pressure, being able to take the ball on the half turn and being able to know already where he's going to pass the ball was crucial for us to control games as much as possible. And I think bringing in Fernandez and Tonali is basically complementing that midfield. And I think exactly what Luke said. Bentancur mainly got injured because he was playing too much. Right? Like a lot of the players, to be fair. But if you have Bentancur on rotation, the risk of him getting injured drastically decrease, and he is a quality player to come on rather than the pressure that Archie Gray or Bergvall would have coming on to, say, for example, change a game. What that does is that it allows, because one thing I noticed, right, is that before one of the press conferences, the ZERBI was like, they asked him about Archie Gray, and he said, the thing about Archie Gray is that I want him to learn a position, right? Because he's been played everywhere, right? So I think that now he is going to that's going to allow Archie Gray in the Carabao Cup games, in those games to come in 10 minutes, 15 minutes to go when we're winning, etc., to actually learn his trade and for us to see what sort of player he can actually be. And I think that's the reason why, and I don't know whether you guys saw the article about Bergvall, where they said to Bergvall, he ain't going nowhere. Because I can understand why. Because I can look at it thinking, hold on a second, but you've brought in quality in Tonali and Fernandez. You've got Bergvall. Learn your trade. How old is Bergvall, by the way? Sorry, Bentancur. How old is Bergvall, by the way? Is he not 19, 20? Well, how old is he?
He's 20 now.
These are youngsters. You know what I mean? Learn the trade, and you could be our future. And I can definitely see why Spurs and the ZERBI is looking at it like, sorry, but you guys are not going anywhere. You're going to have to, bide your time and learn the position that you're supposed to be in, and then fight for your position. So listen, that midfield, I am ecstatic. Sarr is gonna go. Listen, if Spurs need to save money on transportation, I can drive him. I'm absolutely fine with it. Bissouma is gone. Who else is in that midfield? Gallagher. I mean,
he's gonna play. Gallagher's gonna play.
Sarr's the other one, right?
Is he gonna play though? Where is he gonna play?
Gallagher's going to play. I think Luke's right. He'll play across. He'll play across as that number 10, and he'll be the one to prep. Because obviously, if you get a good left winger and a good right sided player or striker. I think he can work still. We just don't, and that's what I think that's where he's going to go. But I'll be completely honest, and a lot of people are thinking this is coming out of Marlon's mouth. I'm actually impressed with our midfield business.
Yeah,
really, really impressed. And when Fernand, I know a lot of people think it's 2 years. He's been relegated twice in 2 years. I don't care though.
couldn't care less.
He has shown.
Ask any Manchester United fan whether they were disappointed in signing Tevez. He got for West Ham relegated. Who cares?
Yeah, but not twice.
Yeah, but come on. it's not. It's different. You know what I mean?
I look at the two clubs that Fernandes was at. The two clubs that Fernandes was at. We'll be completely honest. Southampton were in a mess.
Exactly.
And West Ham were in the same situation as us, where they've got bad owners and they caught up with.
But also, the reason why West Ham were the ones to get him out from Southampton was because all of the bigger clubs were going, we're just not quite sure on him yet. He needs to have another year. Yeah. If he has another year, that's all of a sudden, if he'd have been at Southampton for 2 years and then got relegated, it was never the quality. It was just whether could he do it consistently enough in the Premier League for people to spend, because they spent a fair amount on him. Was it like 40
42
something? It could have been a grey sort of situation where big clubs are going, we've spent a huge amount of money on a youngster that ain't not really there, not really at that level yet. So I don't think it was his quality that he didn't sign for a bigger club. I think it was just they weren't sure whether he was going to be consistently good enough to be able to do it. And obviously the teams that he was linked with this year proves that he should be playing at that level, or will continue to play at that level, hopefully.
Did you guys think we were going to pay 85 million for him?
No, I thought at some stage last year our midfield was going to be Winks and Skip in the Championship. So
hold on, Fernandes is only a year older than Gray. He's that far ahead.
He is.
Luba, you got some. Told you.
Yeah, but you say that, Marlon.
Can Luba even hear us?
No. But the thing, this is what the thing is about young players is that if Bergvall and Gray had gone to I'll say lesser, we were 17th, but if they went to a more structured team and had played, say, 30, 40 odd games in a structured team over the last 2 years.
Yeah, but you can't say Fernandes has. But
he's been a mainstay in a team.
But he's still been. But the problem, the only issue I have with that is that they both could have been mainstay. Okay, not Archie because he's been thrown everywhere, but he wasn't. He could have made that midfield his own. If you think about it, the last 2 seasons we've had, he could, if he was developing at the rate that Fernandes probably did, he could have made it his own. That's all it is.
Yeah, possibly.
I agree with that.
And that's probably where I'm looking at going. I didn't realize there was a year between them. But that's the drop, because it's not like he's been at 2 clubs where he's been decent.
Everyone's development is different, though. I agree with you.
This is the thing. Yeah.
But everyone's development is obviously different. Everyone develops at a different time.
With Bergvall, I think the problem with Bergvall is his injuries. I think both injuries, because when Bergvall's been in the team, if you noticed, last year and this year, he gets injured at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped stop his development. Lubo, can you hear us? Do you want to talk about the midfield signings and what's going on? Hold on. Let me unmute you.
There you go.
Yeah.
By the way, when I'm muted, it's still crackling, so it's not me.
Oh, I can't hear the crackle when you're muted.
Oh, maybe it's me. Maybe all this time it's been me.
Could well be. Anyway. No, listen.
I'll go out and come back in a second.
Midfield signings, first class. We've got a strong midfield now. Where are Bergvall and Gray going to get minutes? That's the question. Because you're looking at 4 being in front of them. So and that's with Saul going as well. We sort of haven't mentioned him. So listen, it's a nice problem. It's 1 game a week. You hope that we don't get the injuries. Listen, less games, less chance of injury, obviously. So we'll see. Listen, it bodes well. Midfield's looking good. Defence is looking good. For me, Kinski's fine with Dubravka. So it just needs to sort out the front now. That's it for me.
But bear in mind as well, though, we've got 3 competition. I know it's 1 game a week until September, right? But we've got three competitions that really and truly, if with that level of depth, including Gray and Bergvall, we could actually have a decent level team being fielded at all times. Why not? You know what I mean? Why not? Why does it have to be, we need to let them go? Because it's not really 1 game. It's only 1 game a week for a couple of months.
And we still had to say medical stuff. So they're gonna get injured.
It's also about having options off the bench, right?
Yeah.
That's key.
Like
You've seen it in the World Cup.
Key.
Yeah.
Like I know we joke about like Ange and things like that, but the ZERBI plays this attacking sort of football, the high pressing and stuff like that. And one of the things that Ange consistently said was 60 minutes, we make subs and we're bringing on players that ain't physically at the level, aren't quality at the level. Now we have got players that are going to come on and be able to hopefully impact. Like imagine only a few months ago, we're sitting here saying how good Bentancur was. And I completely agree with Manny. Bentancur was phenomenal when he came in. When you consider how long he was out for and to just step into a new system and to play the way he did. Now we've got him being a bench player. Like that's ridiculous sort of consistently from what we've seen recently. We've not seen anything like that. So, and that also, again, you've got that sort of fighting spirit amongst them where it's like if Tonali has a few games where he's a bit iffy or he doesn't start well, Bentancur will be looking to come off the bench going, look, I play for Uruguay. I'm an international. I've won titles. Like I'm not here to sit on the bench week in, week out. So it's a good thing. And this is what I've been saying for ages. Stop going out and signing squad players. Go out and sign first team players. And then your first team players become your squad players. And we've done exactly that with Bentancur. Bentancur last year, a lot of people were saying he's not good enough. He needs to go. Now as a squad option, you'll be going, he's decent. Like that's a decent squad option there. So I think, we can't budge at all. And again, at the end of the season, if you was offered Tonali or Fernandez, we'd have all bit your hand off. Offer us both. We're all can't stop smiling.
It's still a bit surreal, mate. It's still a bit surreal. I still can't believe we spent 85 on Fernandez and 92 with 7.5 add-ons for Tonali. I still can't believe it.
It's just madness. Absolute madness. Stephen think we've got ourselves in this situation. Look, people will say it's down to Levy and what the business he's produced over the last 20 years. But there's a couple of things I wanted to ask you about. Look, I wanted to start with Graham Bergwall. Now, everyone's looking, saying, sell him now. But have Tottenham got to look at the situation in a year's time? And why I'm saying a year's time is because both of them become club trained for Tottenham. Okay. Now, yes, our youth players can count as club trained as long as, most of them have been here from 15. But the bit I'm not too sure about, I'm not sure you can have them as club trained if you're loaning them out that season. So they might be club trained already. They can come back and be club trained, but they've got to be in the squad for a year. I'm not entirely sure. Like Mikey Moore wouldn't. He's club trained, but I don't think because he got loaned out to Rangers, he can go on the club trained list, which means our squad got reduced because we only had Austin last year, I believe. Okay, which reduced our squad to 22, and we could have done with a 25. Correct.
But that's for Europe. That we're not in Europe this year.
No, but that's what I'm saying. But are Tottenham looking at the plan? So this is where it comes back to the Bergvall and Gray debate, because they've got 1 more year, and both of them become club trained for Tottenham next year. They've got 1 more year to go. Austin is still club trained, and whether he's going to be here in a year's time is another question. Obviously, Mikey Moore's got to come back, so they can just put him on the club trained list if he comes back and becomes the first team player. Yes, you got the rest of the youth team players, but are they going to be good enough if we do get into Europe to stay within the squad for a year? So are Tottenham looking at it with Bergvall and Gray to go, actually, we know you can play Champions League football or European football and still give us good quality, and we just need to keep you around for the just-in-case moments. Because we want to, if you think about it, we do want a squad of 25. We don't want to go down to a squad of 22. We saw the impact that it had on us last year in the Champions League because of the amount of injuries.
And the players and the money they've spent, Spurs, I'm not saying we're going to compete for a Champions League, not in any way am I saying that, but Spurs have the intention to compete. They've not got. You don't go and spend 200 million on 2 central midfielders, and then if you're offered to go out in the group stage of the Champions League or the league phase of the Champions League, go, yeah, we're happy with that because we got to the Champions League. They're expecting to go further, and you're not going to go further with 21 men, 22 men potentially, especially with the injuries that we've had and things like that. So they need to balance it up. Where are they going to be better served? Because it's all about how impactful they are on a team, right? And you can be more impactful if you're a better player, but you can also be quite impactful if you're club trained. And they need to balance it out and say, right, is Gray going to be a better contributor to Spurs as a club trained player? Might not play as much, maybe doesn't develop as much. Or is he going to be better if he goes out? Is he going to become better than Tonali if he has 1 year loan? Like that's what they need to balance and work out. Yeah. But I think at least one of them need to stay, because you've got a third choice goalkeeper that is obviously Spurs don't think is good enough. So effectively, you're just wasting 3 slots. And I think that will need to change. I think Gray and Bergman will both stay, and I think Moore goes out on loan. And then next year we'll have...
Moore, because obviously it's not going to count for this season. But I think everyone's thinking this season, but you don't want to get yourself in a situation next year where we get into Europe and then all these players that we've signed, we've got this massive squad, and you've got to tell 3 of them, unfortunately, you can't be in our squad next year because, we've messed up a bit with our club. Or you then have to put 4 youth team players in that potentially might have to play as well.
Yeah, but also, Marlon, you've then got the problem as well. If you do that next year, you've got your limitations in the Premier League as well. So you'll be potentially saying to players who you want to be contributors to your Premier League season, we can't register you in the Champions League, but we want you to be a contributor in the Premier League, similar to the Tells and the Solankis that we had. Chelsea, you can't be doing that.
Chelsea, when what's his name? Is it Poronete came in and he's going, I want to play in the Champions League. 2 days later, they say you can't be in it. We didn't realise. So it's good. I know we're going to get rid of players next year as well, but it's just kind of our Spurs thinking in their heads, actually, we just need to keep them for another year. And potentially after that year, if ZERBI still thinks they're not good enough, potentially loan them out then and give them that experience a year later, if anything. I don't know. Yeah.
I think at least one stays. I'd be very surprised if they both don't stay, but I'd be one of them will stay for sure. They have to.
How long does Bergvall have on his contract? He just signed a new one, right? He just signed a new contract. Well. I think he's got 4 or 5 years on his contract.
Yeah, I think
so. Even if he does go, it will be for a hefty amount of money. I don't think he's going to go cheap, but I don't think they're wanting to let him go. I think Archie Gray is quite content where he is, in a sense of he seems to be. Sorry?
He won't moan
exactly. I mean, to be fair, I wouldn't moan if I was on 75k a week.
Yeah, but someone had said the other day, because Spencer's obviously been rumoured to be going to Everton, and I was like, you know what, I'll take it because Spence, for me, I like him, but I just don't think he's going to be any decent in the system for the ZERBI, and I'll just stick Archie Gray at right back if I have to. Because Archie Gray's a good right back. I think potentially, I think he's a better right back than he's a centre midfielder. That's me personally. I'm not going to sit there and die on that hill either.
I completely forgot, but someone was right in the chat. The only way that Bergvall goes is if we go get Morgan Gibbs-White, and I'll take it. I'll back that. Mate, he goes Forest. We get Morgan Gibbs-White.
If we got Morgan Gibbs-White on top of all what we're getting, I tell you, I'll be like, this is not my club, because this is not how we act.
if we get Morgan Gibbs-White after all these signings, I will say we're going for the league. I'm telling you now.
We'll do it with Solanke up front. That will get it twisted.
No, listen, it's from what I'm hearing. I'm not an ITK. I'm not Lubo, right? Well, from what I'm hearing, we are trying to get 2 free attackers. I genuinely can't even believe it, considering we've got Kulu, who apparently is going to be ready for pre-season, as in ready to come back for pre-season. I'm hearing Kudus apparently is fully ready. Oh, if you guys get Miliao, oh my gosh.
Do you know what? So I saw him doing something yesterday, because I watched today's game this morning. I saw him defending, and I was like, come.
But that's the thing. Listen,
people told me you couldn't defend. Come.
Even for these players, even Marcus Rashford, right, etc. All these players, I've heard enough from past players that have played for the ZERBI to understand that it's more than just just a normal coach. He's the kind of coach that will get you doing things for him that you normally wouldn't do for other coaches.
Adam Lallana said that, yeah.
Leao, the way he takes on players and the space he's going to create. Oh my goodness. I think I'll probably stop doing YouTube because I'm gonna be at the stadium every single time. look at this. We got the mighty tell on the left hand side. I'm being told that Leao is a bum. Anyways.
But it like for us, the whole situation is going to be really. I think what you're not finding at the moment, and I think this is key to everything that's being done. This just shows you Tottenham are doing it the right way for once. Is how other clubs are talking about us at the moment, because you've got Villa and Newcastle moaning, okay, but they are at the beginning stage of where we were 20 years ago when we were selling. Like you have to tell them we were selling Bowles, we were selling, them sort of players just to balance the books to where we got to now. Yes, Levy deserves a certain amount of credit. Don't get me wrong, he does deserve credit for getting us in this situation. But even
what's that for, Marlon? Credit for what?
So for doing his job.
Really, credit for not stretching the club like we are now for 26 years.
Yeah, but there's only a certain point when we could have stretched it. So it's not to say we could have done it in his first 10 years.
Of course we could. We have been the most profitable league club since the Premier League started in 92, 93.
Yeah, do you know what? But you still have to give him, because we were still, when we got to the pot, I know we got lucky with Poch, right? Don't get me wrong, and he got lucky with that squad. It was probably there where we all went, this is your time to shine. And he decided not to. So
no, but he could have done more. I think everyone knows that. But we could be where Villa and Newcastle are now,
100%.
where we're not like, regardless of whether you think Levy was a good chairman or not,
yeah,
that's not really relevant.
So,
but
I know where to give him credit.
If he didn't do what he done behind the scenes, I'm not saying he put loads of money in or anything like that.
He didn't put any money in.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's he's. Yeah. I'm not saying he's responsible for doing it, but he's responsible for putting the infrastructure in place that's allowed us to go and do this. Because without Levy, we might be where Villa are. We might be where Newcastle are, where actually we can't afford to buy certain things. We might be able to add to a bit more.
Their owners are rich enough, but because of this whole PSR situation and what you've got to do these days and how it all works, and they've just changed it as well.
It's ironic, right? Because only months, and I'm not disagreeing with Spurs fans, only months ago, we were sitting here going, oh, Beyonce concert, oh, F1. And ironically, now all of our rivals are going, oh, because of a Beyonce concert, because of F1. But actually, they are what are enabling us to go and do what we're doing now.
Well, it's not.
They're not. No, they're not.
It's not the concert. It's more to do with.
It's the whole thing, though.
Because we've qualified for Europe for how. Let's big things that people forget. We've qualified for, like, this is the excuse. We've qualified for this. We've done this. We've done that. And to be fair, financially, it's like they've held all this money in, and then once Lewis's family trust and Lewis' family were able to get their hands on it and get their feet properly underneath the table, because this is the first summer they've had,
and still there are.
They've kind of just gone, and after finishing 17th twice, they've kind of done it. I think what was key to this whole situation, and I think what Levy said about Van Heck, and I know it weren't meant to come out, but it just shows you where his head was at, even when we're now in this situation we're in, and actually trying to get players in early and everything like that. Let's see how, again, we're not going to know any of these answers until the season finishes. But right now, a lot of us have said this for years, we needed to do this early, because not being able to sign players while the World Cup's on. Well, you can still sign decent players that are not at the World Cup. There's more teams at this World Cup than any other, but yet we've only signed one player who was there. But yet we love the quality of the players we're bringing in.
Yeah, but there's always a bit of a balancing act here, right? Because we are always playing guesstimates and we're always trying to work it out. But there's an argument to say if we didn't finish 17th this year, that they wouldn't have done any of this.
Well, yeah,
we don't know. Was it Levy that was the difference, or was it the fact that we finished 17th and they went, hang on a minute, this really could have been problematic for us because we could lose millions and millions by going down. So
look, the problems at Spurs still exist.
Yes, correct.
Levy's gone. Levy's gone. He was a major problem, in my opinion. Massive problem. Chairman didn't enjoy negotiating with him.
That's the problem.
Every negotiation that Levy had was a war that he had to win.
Yeah.
And you know, when you're dealing in a small pond with the same people time and time again, you've got to be on good terms with them, because you know it's not like selling somebody a house. Someone walks into an estate agent and you're a negotiator there. You may never see that person again in your life and in his life, their life. But
yes and no, because I guarantee you Marinakis isn't great to deal with. Like,
I'm sure.
It doesn't just have to be like that. Like, look at what happened with Marinakis. There'll be plenty of people going, yeah, we're not going to deal with them.
Hang on. Are we talking which Marinakis? Are we talking about Gibbs White's?
Forest, yeah.
Yeah, are we talking about the Gibbs White situation?
Not just about the Gibbs White situation, just he is a nightmare to deal with. It's Renan that he is a problem to deal with. He's absolutely bonkers. Is the first start to come out and do a chairman and go, we always win, and that sort of nonsense. Like, you can tell that he's a nightmare to deal with.
But Luke, he will that will come back to bite him in time.
Yeah,
possibly. just like it did with Tottenham. You look at Spurs. There were loads of clubs that just probably wouldn't deal with us. You look at the teams we dealt a lot with. Leeds, we're starting to deal quite a bit with Bayern Munich. You know, there were clubs that we deal with, and a lot of clubs that wouldn't. Now, you know, yes, that's right. Yeah, and all of a sudden you got Kudus and Fernandez, and they're becoming our feeder club again, like they were with Carrick and Defoe. You know, Canute. So for me, it's thank God he's gone. Are they spending because we finished 17th? Quite probably. Let's judge Enoch. Listen, time will judge them. Will they carry on spending going forward? Listen, the neglect over the last 9 years. You think of that great Poch team, that great 11. 12, 13 that we had in 2016, 17 last year at the Lane, 86 points, came second. And there's every player that's come in since then has been a downgrade. Now, for the first time, we're now starting to go out and we're starting to get good players. We're going to get quality players. And there's an intent there from the Lewis family to spend the money and to lift the club up. Now, they're not in any shape to sell the club, you know, they want to get the club back up. I think they'll end up selling it. That's my personal feeling. Is they're not quite in the right place at the moment. We've just lost a major sponsor. We've just finished 17th twice, and they wouldn't get the money they want if they get Spurs back into the Champions League at the end of next season, or back into 6th, 7th place at least. Then it's a whole new ball game. All of a sudden, you know, if you've got sponsors coming on board, if the ZERBI serves up exciting football, all of a sudden sponsors will start looking for Tottenham. So, but you're right. Are they spending because it's a panic? It's a good question, and time will tell. For me, the answer is yes, but I do think there's an intent now to go out and. You know, the money's there. The money was there in January. The big problem we've got is that there's no football infrastructure at the club. You've got ZERBI, you've got Rafi Mawson, who's a great deal closer, who did great things closing deals for Man City for 10 years. And apart from that, there isn't too much. Lang and Rob McKenzie are doing all the data analysis and presenting all the players to ZERBI. And De Zerbi is involved in every single part of it. You know, he talks to all the players. He's involved listening in with all the negotiations. Vinay's given the money by the Lewis family, and Mawson's there to close the deals. And that's how it's working. But there's no infrastructure, Marley, at the club. There's no, you know, you haven't got a set way of playing, a set culture, a set mentality.
But this is what you're hoping. But you know, hopefully this is because they've changed this way of thinking, because we've now got the closer, as you say, we've now got the two with the data, and you've now got Vinay with the money, and it's all working in cohesion. Maybe this is all that we needed. And if the ZERBI football does work, then that can feed, because I think what every manager likes to do is make sure the youth team are playing the same way, the under 16s, and so when they develop through, they can't. It's not an alien to them to be coming to a different formation. But maybe at the moment, like what you said, if that's all correct and sitting in the same situation right now for how they're dealing with these deals, and you've got what's his name, Mawson? I can't remember the guy at Man City.
Rafi Mawson.
Rafi Mawson. If he's the closer, this is where Levy's problem was. Because he was the one.
But Marlon, don't forget, we done all of that. We done all of that under Ange. All of the youth teams were playing. I'm not saying they go as mental as he did with the attacking stuff, but it was all. And then we went and appointed Thomas Frank. Like this isn't. This is what Spurs do. We just rip it all up and start again. So
Correct.
That's the question,
it's a continuation thing, and that's where Lubo's absolutely right. It's all about what happens next. What happens next?
But we don't know right now at this present moment. We don't know. We have no idea if the next manager after De Zerbi is going to be De Zerbi Junior.
It's probably going to be Nuno.
The big problem you've got, guys, as long as it's not Ange, the big problem you've got, the big problem you've got is that virtually all the players we're buying are Prem proven. They're all from the Premier League. You can't keep paying the high prices for Premier League players. So why aren't we going out? Why are we not finding the Krupas in France and the Rayans? You know, that Bournemouth are finding. Why are we not? You know, you got the director of football Pinto down there who's finding these kids that are like top class, top level kids.
Lubo, do you not think though? Right now, yeah, we potentially could, but right now, because of the situation we've been in for the last 2 years, we need the Prem proven players now before we even start to think about developing these youngsters into a.
Yes, we do, but we don't. The point I'm making is that for phase 2, we don't have the global scouting network that say Chelsea have or Bournemouth have or City have. You know, and that
you've got to mix it up.
That's the problem.
You got to mix it up. I'm not against buying in the Premier League at all. I don't think it should be your strategy, like your sole strategy. But I'm not saying, again, I've said this on other shows, but like Bayern Munich have been doing this for years. I know they're at the very top, but they just go and buy anyone that gets anywhere near them. They go and buy their best player, make them worse, make us better. We've done it with Bournemouth. We went and got Senesi. By signing Senesi, we've made us better and them not as good.
But
I'm okay with us going and signing the players that are performing for clubs around us to make us better and them worse. But that can't be just your sole strategy. Like 85 million. We can't go and drop 85 million on every single player we sign now. Like you're just not going to be able to do it.
And didn't I don't want to give Lange credit, but didn't Lange also want to bring in, who was it? Nusa, who's the Norwegian guy who's at Leipzig. Mm-hmm. Didn't he not scout him, but we couldn't get that one over the line? And Doué, did he not bring those two to the table? And Spurs decided not to sign both of them. And watching Nusa at the World Cup,
weren't PSG like sniffing around? And as soon as I think it went a little bit.
I think from what I can remember, we had a run at it before he went to PSG, and Levy.
I think Nusa is the one as well, because I think with him, we were in conversations with them and then found out there was a problem. I can't remember what it was.
Well, he got in. I think it was his. I think when they had an injury.
It was an injury. It was something that was a problem with him, and they were requesting for 20 million, and we decided it was a bit too much. But obviously now you look at it thinking, bloody hell, because obviously it was after that. I think it was the following winter that we went and got Tell. So, I mean, we could have been sat here with Nusa rather than Tell, and
but we could have also been sat here with a Diblin. And so there's like this is what's funny is that you see some fans either in the chat or online and they never bring up the players that they suggested that were absolutely shocking. It's always the one that they pulled out.
But this is the reason why I brought up these players, and it wouldn't be just him, there'd be others as well.
Yeah,
would it? But if we need, like we talk about the scouting network, but if we are bringing these players to the table, maybe we will start closing them now, especially this is the young players I'm talking about. Maybe we'll start closing them now instead of having Levy at the backs going, I'm not paying that for a youngster, I'm not paying that for a youngster, I'm not, and just maybe the wages as well. Maybe the wages play a part. I don't know.
Yeah, but also listen, Doué's on another level, right? But
Yeah.
you go and try and sign Doué now, and you go, well, we've got a midfield of Tonali and Fernandez, we've got Van Hecke, we're making movements here. Savinho might come through the door. And he's going, hang on a minute, I can get on board with that. Whereas last year we're saying, look, we're getting Palhinha on loan, we're getting Mawani. So that's another sign of intent. Not only is it going who you're going to get and who you're going to pay for, but also who you're keeping. Do you know what I mean? Like what style of play you're going to have. So this is where all sort of attractions start coming in.
Because I remember Nusa and Doué. I just don't know why those are the two, because they were the two that turned out to be okay. But if you wanted Rayan as well, because Lube was the one who just said, why can't we be signing players like this? And we need a scout network. Maybe we do. You know, they've got the data, as you said. I think Lube said they've got the data. Maybe they've got the data behind this, and we just in the past just haven't spent. To be interesting.
Rayan, I watched Rayan for about 30 seconds and was like, he's a player. Like some of these players, you haven't got a it's not like they're getting metric. Yeah, like you're watching them going, yeah, he can play. Like you can tell he can play. Like from the second you view them.
Messi at 16.
Whereas there's some of them, like for instance, when you talk about like Mbuemo's, for instance, where they go to Brentford and then over 2 years they get better very, very quickly. Like Rayan, from the day he signed, you look at him, go, that's a player. Like you should be able to get him. You should be able to go there and get that sort of player. But it is hard. I would just literally go online, find out who Bournemouth are scouting, and go and just sign them. Sod having scouts everywhere. Just get whoever Bournemouth are getting. They seem to turn out pretty decent.
Well, Brighton. Everyone's talking about Brighton. They've just signed our player.
He needs some pace with him, the boy.
It'd be interesting.
But again, that's a decent deal. Like, it's not a bad deal. You go and get Van Hecke, who's ready-made, ready to go now. That is a sign of how we've changed our attitude. That's the exact signing. So basically, as you said, Marlon, we've basically swapped them 2 players and 2 million. So we've got rid of a potential wonder kid that ain't quite ready right now, we don't think, and we've brought in a ready-made player that's ready for right now. That's a massive sign and shift in attitude.
And we've got 20 million, 20%.
There's the 20%. And also matching the matching bid, right? I believe we've got that as well. So if someone comes in and so I believe if someone comes in and says they're paying 70. No, yeah, so apparently if someone comes in and bids 70 and Brighton are happy with 70, if we bid 70, it's automatically approved. So it's I mean, I think it's a great deal, and maybe that's a shift showing us exactly what Spurs are now doing. Instead of going after youngsters consistently and trying to develop and trying to sell for a profit, although we've done that with him in a way, we've gone, right, we need ready-made right now. We can worry about the wonder kids coming in next season.
And you know the difference is they're now looking to bring success on the pitch, not to the balance sheet. And that's for me, that's always been my problem with ENIC from day one. It shows some intent, shows some ambition, and that's where the 7-point manifesto came from. And that, the first three or four of them, ENIC 2.0, are actually carrying it out to the letter.
Wasn't point one bring in a good attacking winning manager? So that's why we got Ange. That was the first start of the
No, don't be silly.
Where's Sean Butler when you need him?
Luke, don't go down that path. Seriously, don't go down that path.
Anyway, we'll finish on that note because Manny, his little ones got up. So we've woken him up talking about how great Spurs are.
He wants to watch the World Cup then. He wants to watch Messi. The little one wants to watch Messi.
There's half an hour in it, still 0-0. Come on, Cape Verde. But you know what? On all seriousness, I know we've
1-0. 1-0.
Who's scored, Lubo?
Is it Messi?
Lubo, who's scored?
So. I'm watching on internet, so that's what I'm behind.
You're going to give us it in a minute.
Yeah. So on all seriousness, like we've still managed, I know we've had debates tonight and had this, that, and the other, but I think we can all agree. I think what Spurs are doing right now,
Messi.
Yeah, what Spurs are doing right now, I think we're all happy
it's seismic, isn't it? Like it just it's huge. Like, but I think the one key point, and I think Lubo sort of alluded to it a little bit there as well, is this can't be it.
It needs to be.
We can't sit there and go, yeah, well, but do you remember 2 years ago we had that really good window? That's not how it works. Like you go and have consistent good windows now. Like we've still got to sort out the attacking. We need to go and buy a few players there, and then next year we need to go again, and we need to go again. I know it's not to this level, but we've done this under Ange. The first transfer window, Vicario, Van der Ven, Maddison went, hang on a minute, like we're gonna, and then the next three was like, oh, we went and got an Odebert, we went and got like another youngster here, and it's like that's not what we need. We need to go and do it now, and then in January or the summer we need to go again and get another couple through the door. So it's an unbelievable start, but don't allow this to be that's it, we're done now, finished.
I'm happy to play, and I ain't showing it, but
buzzing, absolutely buzzing.
Absolutely buzzing. I am absolutely buzzing. I'm not expecting miracles the next season, but because look, we're not near Arsenal as an 11,
no.
but we are now closing the gap. We're not the big gap where it's first and 17th. Where I look at this squad now, and depending on who we sell, we should be making top 4 quite simple if the ZERBI gets the way he wants Spurs to play. You know, I trust the ZERBI.
I think there's a chance of it, which at the end of the season, like, and this is what I'm saying, when Spurs talk about how buzzing they are, they're not saying we're going to win the league. They're going like, we can't believe that we were rightfully 17th last year, and now we're doing what we're doing. Like, we're just happy doing this at this moment in time. Do you know what I mean? So, I just long may it continue. I'm loving the Bombers after Bombers is superb, and I
did say. Do you remember I said the last one, minimum of 7? That's all I wanted. What, when Elliot's 6?
Don't be pretending you expected Tonali and Fernandez.
No, I was expecting to come here on.
To be like,
when we get to August, I was expecting to come here and moan. We should have got minimum of 6. I'm like, Jesus,
we've got 5 bang average players and signed 2 decent ones. That's what you was expecting.
To be fair, every signing has been on point as well.
Yeah, the only question mark where you kind of go, really, is the Robertson and then getting Davies on a new contract, but it's for 1 year. It's not a massive years like that, but that's the only one where you kind of like, oh, that's a little bit.
Remember I said earlier about core positions. This is why I can live with Robertson, Davis, because they're left back. Sometimes you can live with a half decent left back. You don't have to, but when you start, the core of the team is not. That's where I am, but we are where we are.
Oh, is Marlon gone? Marlon's dropped off. Oh, he's back. You back, Marlon. You back with us?
Yeah, Lou. Yeah, I'm back. He's back.
I know Marlon's
he's back.
I'm back. Nubo, let us know about Tottenham Touchline and what's going on in your YouTube world.
Yeah, well, yes, I've joined the boys now. Left the Spurs 5. Johnny's got the channel. And I've gone in with Ferg, Christian and Jacko. And it's, I enjoy being in a 4. It's great fun. Good, the guys are all good conversationalists. They've all got good knowledge of football. Jacko's got, God knows, something like 40,000 Twitter followers, which is a big help. He's a coach as well. In I think he's just outside Milan. It's good fun. I've known the boys through Spaces on Twitter for about 3 years, and it all came together. And looking forward to this coming season.
Is that me or Luba? Please say it's not me. You know what it was?
That's Lubo.
Okay. You know what it is? It's because he was talking about how good they were, and just how good crack they were, not us.
Yeah. Again, there's 4 people on there. 3 of them are really knowledgeable. Then I come and do these sorts of shows where you've got no idea about football.
Yeah. We're not Ferg or Christian.
I've got 1,000 followers and not 40,000 followers. No, but I have watched a few episodes with them. They are good. Yeah. They're good guys, and Luke.
Yeah, Christian I've actually known for a very long time. Funny enough. I know.
What you got coming up, Marlon? Because I already know what you got coming up. But what have you got coming up? Tell the audience.
I don't know, holidays, World Cup. I don't know. I think me and Ash will be back on Spurs Kings TV doing our thing. So Ash will keep me level-headed as per usual, giving me clips of all these players that we should be signing. I don't know what he's going to do now because we signed off the players he wanted.
What do you do? What do you do? Let's go and
Let's go.
find more. Let's go and find the Rayans and the Kroupies of before they've actually signed. Look, we've got multiple Lubos now. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Where's Manny? Manny, you want to come and say anything before you go, or is he completely gone?
I think he's off.
All right, make sure you go to Manny on Designated Hotspur. He's been missing for a month. He's been busy with work, but he came on tonight and made sure that, he showed his face. Luke, what's Spotlight on Spurs saying?
Yeah, back to the weekly shows, mate. Was going to have a couple of weeks off. I was going to think, hang on a minute, let's have a few weeks off. Spurs won't sign anyone. It's the World Cup. It'll all go quiet. Yeah, that didn't work. So we're pretty much straight back on every Thursdays, 9:30. Went live yesterday. We'll be live again next Thursday. Getting a bit bored. We haven't had a signing in at least, 26 hours, which is ridiculous.
Leal Kroupi. Tonali tomorrow. Leal Kroupi next week.
I'm certainly on board with
Rashford the week after. Richarlison.
But yeah, every Thursday, 9:30. Hopefully we'll see some of you over there.
Look, so thank you to everybody that's joined us tonight, whether it's been on Designated Hotspur, Spotlight on Spurs, or on Spurs Kings. We've had 1,000 on Spurs Kings. I think we've had over 1,000 in Spotlight on Spurs as well. So we've had quite a few people watching us tonight. So big thanks to everyone in the chat. Look, don't take things seriously on what we say. We're just here to chat about Spurs and love Spurs. But now, in all seriousness, big up to all and every one of you that's been with us tonight. It's been going off in the chat, even though we can see everything on both channels. So it's been quite good. But please make sure you subscribe to everybody. Even if you don't like us, please subscribe to everybody. Even Tottenham Touchline, Designated Hotspur, Spotlight on Spurs, Spurs Kings TV. And we'll be back.
Big up to Lubo.
And big up to Lubo. Even though they don't like us.
And last thing, as always, come on, you Ange.